Shri Ganeshaya Namo Namah. Greetings to everyone on Wednesday evening at 9 p.m., 31st of July 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been talking about meaningful education, futuristic education, making education and skills relevant, and how basically 21st century, when we talk about today's youth, tomorrow's basically the gems of the world, of the universe, how are they going to contribute? This all would depend upon how do we shape them today. And when we're talking about, when we talk about shaping our younger generation, it's very, very important that the education ecosystem should be very joyful. Dance, music, singing, gamification, all that should be brought in the education ecosystem. And students, children, they should enjoy each and every moment in school. Teachers should be very happy. And our focus is always, we say very strongly, we say, and we recommend that teachers, those are taking care of the kids right from the KG up to fifth class, they are the most important people coming in life of these youth because they are the one, those are shaping youth, those are strategically channelizing the youth, and they are working out the strategy, what is to be done and what kind of progeny, what kind of younger generation we are shaping, which will come up to the society, to the humanity tomorrow, and what kind of people they will become. How would they contribute and build their own country, this universe, and of course, humanity as a whole. So today's program, we talk about capability building, teachers KG to fifth class, and how to make everything joyful all around. And the learning should be meaningful, accountable, and joyful. So our finishing school, Digital Inspirational Lab, which is dedicated since 2008 onward in the new concept, but however, with the basic concept of finishing school service industry right from 1994. So let's take on the journey. We move together. All of us, we think together what exactly has to be done. Should you recall that yesterday we had discussed about NEP 2020 fourth year celebration, and we discussed how the secretaries, the ministers, and before that, for the first time in the country, while celebrating fourth year of the national education policy, there was a Shiksha Saptaha also, where people enjoyed. And yesterday we gave the details, the run to you, and how basically the government made it more joyful. Everything came from there, and the journey started from there. So we are moving ahead with that in the new education policy 2020 implementation, celebration of 4 years, and we are moving ahead. So the concept is joyful learning. What could be the perspective change? How we can improve motivation? How we can engage learner the most meaningful way? How we can have authentic learning? How do we encourage autonomy and at the same time having control as well? Now, what is the concept of joyful learning? A joyful learning, when we talk about, it is the mode of learning in which the learners are given the opportunities to experience emotions of surprise in delightful ways, nurture their curiosity while interacting with meaningful content throughout a supportive community of classmates, peer groups, teachers, and everybody whosoever is around. You see how much happiness is there, right? So all that we have to take into considerations. Let's move further. Who could be and what could be the joyful learner? Now, characteristics of joyful learning, when we talk about, they include being highly engaged in the task or experience while having a sense of wonder and curiosity. Typically, the educators and their students both benefit from and feel synchronicity, the teacher and the learner experience. There's a sense of shared interest and purpose. Now, what does joyful, for learning mean? The term of joyful is, basically coined. It's a meaning of an emotion which is of a great delight or happiness, which is caused by something good or satisfying. In this sense, we can always term it learning as being something good or satisfying, thus affecting the emotions in a way which is of higher delight and happiness. When we move ahead, how we can make learning a joyful experience. Now, when we talk about joyful learning, like, let's take an example: games, storytelling, role plays, puzzles, hand on activities, songs, music, dance. These all are the great ways to bring energy and excitement in the classroom and keep the student, engaged the best possible way. So that's what is something which we all have to realize, and we got to see how best it can be done, how meaningful it can be done. How does joy affect learning? Now, happiness and positive emotions, they create, dopamine and serotonin. And when these substances are released in our brain, it has positive effects and impacts on our memory as well as our brain's ability to learn. The chemicals, they increase the brain's capacity to make connections and make connections faster. So, happiness all around, momentary happiness, deeper happiness, sustainable happiness, all that we have to take into consideration. Now, what could be the element of joyful learning? Now, safe, inclusive, healthy environments. The phrase when you talk about joyful learning, it often brings to mind images of creative play and games. While these elements are important, ensuring that students feel safe in an environment is essential prerequisite for them to enjoy their respective schools. Now, how we can ensure authentic learning? Now, what could be the joyful classroom? When we talk about it, a joyful classroom is one where learning is active. Students spend most of this lesson, doing, thinking, exploring, applying what they have learned rather than just watching or listening. And that's how they learn best and enjoy learning the most. Now, what is the joyful learning methodology? It places students in the key role of discoverers. When you carry out a discovery, you remember Discovery Channel? Now, key principles include freedom for students, an environment that is responsive to their needs, and guidance from teachers as needed. The method aims to develop skills like critical thinking, logical reasoning, and scientific inquiring in students. That is something very important. Let's move on next. How does the joy in learning increases? When you allow the students to dabble and tinker within the subject matter, sets free creativity and reintroduce joy into the learning process. People love good stories, motivating students or yourself to start reading books again and to share the experience with others increases the joyful learning tremendously. So, here we are listing 5 things that transform a school: leadership, awareness, structure, assumptions, and top down approach. How do you make learning more joyful in your classroom? How to create joyful learning? Now, find the pleasure in learning, music and rhythm, give students choices, let students create things, show off students' work towards holistic learning, get outside of your bed and just warm up and move. Read good books. Now, sometime when we are, when we don't enjoy what is going on, particularly our studies, and we feel it's a burden, then question comes to our mind: why are we here? And again, why do students perform so poorly? What could be the cause of laziness, stress, confusion about requirements? There are a couple of areas which we have to take into considerations. So what stops us? Is there some kind of a fear? What holds students back and what holds faculty back? Both are equally important. Now, what are the components of joyful learning? Now, joyful learning is a new approach. It encapsulates a whole host of emotions such as curiosity, excitement, engagement, and the satisfaction of achievement. It's about embracing learning with an open heart and a sense of wonder. Now, there could be educating the whole child, educating the whole group, or educating individual. It would differ from person to person, organization to organization, and demand as it is. Joyful learning new approach. It encapsulates, the whole host of emotions such as curiosity, excitement, engagement, and the satisfaction of achievement. It's about embracing learning with an open heart and a sense of wonders. Now, what are the benefits of joyful learning? Now, infusion of joy with learning, it will help our students to feel less stressed. It benefits students with a positive learning and it gives a new experience. It makes children eager and motivated to learn new things since they find them enjoyable. Now, in what ways are you a joyful learner? Now, joyful learning basically, environment is where encouragement is there, creativity is there, curiosity is there, exploration is there, which are the fundamentals aspect of learning. Students are also more likely to actively participate, ask questions, collaborate with their peers, leading to deeper understanding and shifting short-term learning to long-term memory. Okay, let's move ahead. How a teacher can create joyful learning environment by encouraging students to work collaboratively in groups, in pairs, and we provide students with opportunity to practice skills, explore new concepts, and building confidence in a non-threatening way. This is especially important for learners who are shy or apprehensive about speaking in front of class. It's a natural phenomena. The fear comes, anxiety comes. These are all normal symptoms. There's nothing of that sort. You got to understand that. Now, what is the joyful meaning of teaching? Some specific ways to implement joyful learning in the classroom include creating a classroom of fun and comfortable, to create compelling content in learners material, conduct a surprise and novelty on learning, make the learning experience relevant to the interest of learners, move together with learners. Now, there could be 10 skills for modern teacher of 21st century. First of all, commitment. Second, preparation. Third, organization. Fourth, tolerance. Fifth, storytelling. Sixth, open out question. Seventh, innovation. And if I see next one over here, we are showing you over here, if you have a look at it carefully, these 10 skills for modern teachers are very, very important in 21st century. Let's come to the conclusion. What could be the characteristics of joyful learning? Create a desirable physical space. Create a desirable social and emotional environment. Develop and use your own teaching personality. Allow yourself to do something unpredictable. Be a joyful person. 10 things to do before going to start or when the school starts. Do something fun. Read an inspiring teaching book. Put together a classroom management plan. Prepare pacing guide for each of your class. Connect with fellow teachers. Prepare a week or 2 week lesson plans. Get your room ready. Plan the first day of school and breathe and spend time in your prayers. So, ladies and gentlemen, before our children, they move with fun, with dance, with music, with creativity, with storytelling and everything in classroom. Our teachers, you've got to be joyful at home also and in your institution also where you're working. When you make learning joyful, students will be engaged, students would be benefited, students would enjoy each and every day coming to the institute. So let's make our education ecosystem more joyful, particularly for learning. With these words, we wish you meeting tomorrow at 9 p.m. at the same time, at the same venue, on the same Zoom to the Zoom session on YouTube, that is GS Motivator. Look forward meeting you tomorrow, 9 p.m. India Standard Time. Stay fit, stay fine, take care of your health, and be